Welcome back to CMC Markets Trend Tracker Series. Got a US election special for you, and I'll be covering all that you need to know regarding the election, possible market implications, and I'll be looking at some charts on US equity markets, the US dollar, and cryptocurrencies. First of all, when do we expect results to come in? When should we be glued to our screens? Well, on Wednesday, our time, 6th of November, after 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. That's when the majority of polling booths close throughout all the multiple time zones in the United States. Our results will be coming in throughout our day, so we're at a great time zone to really look for opportunities throughout the US election. As traders, when focusing on the results as they come in after 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, currencies. Currencies is probably the best product class to look at because US dollar against the euro, the yen, even the Aussie and the pound will be very sensitive to any kind of exit polls that come out on election day. Now, the outcome of the 2024 election may hinge on these several key swing states, also known as battleground states, and they are Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and North Carolina. What is current positioning that we need to be aware of? You would have noticed that the US dollar has been strengthening over the last few weeks against the euro, against the Aussie, the pound, and the yen. You would have noticed that cryptocurrencies have also pushed high the last few weeks, breaching Bitcoin, for example, breaching 73,000 US a coin. I'll get to the charts later. But these trades have been in line with a possible Trump victory and perhaps a Republican sweep. And this is based on recent betting markets, not polls. Polls have shown state by state that the race is too close to call, but betting markets such as Polymarket has shown Trump to be well ahead. Polls and betting markets are notoriously fickle, as was the case back in 2016 when Hillary Clinton was favoured to win and Trump won unexpectedly. And we saw a huge amount of volatility across all products, especially currency markets. Let's quickly take a look at some key policy differences between Trump and Harris and how they may affect markets. Let's take a look at some of Donald Trump's policies, which focus on America first. Apart from reinforcing border security, some of the economic and trade policies focused on lowering the corporate taxation rate from 21% to possibly 15%, rolling back regulations, aiming to bolster domestic manufacturing, and also expanding US fossil fuel production while easing restrictions on traditional energy sectors. What might we expect from a Trump and Republican Party victory? Well, more of the same, more what we have seen in the last 2-3 weeks, that being stronger US dollar, higher cryptocurrencies, for example, and a decent bid tone in US equity markets. Now, Trump has mentioned previously that he'd like to see the United States a crypto capital of the world, and also with lower taxation and regulations. That seems quite favourable for the crypto industry. In terms of stocks specifically, sectors such as energy and manufacturing will likely do well, in particular with the deregulation and pro-business policies that Trump may adopt. Kamala Harris's policies closely align to the current policies of the Biden administration. So apart from completely unwinding the Trump trade, there's unlikely to be any kind of lasting short-term impacts from a victory. Markets will focus on one of the key differences in the policies, which is an increase in the corporate tax rate of currently 21% up to 28%. Given that Trump is seen as pro-business, America first, lower taxation, and thereby equity markets friendly, a Harris victory could have the opposite impact where we may see, well, first of all, the unwinding of current Trump trades, and secondly, an equity market sell-off. Be difficult to work out the magnitude of the sell-off and how long-lasting that might be, but the fact that there is potential for a corporate tax increase will see investors prepare for that scenario. Markets that also factor in her administration's focus on social programs and environmental regulations, potentially impacting sectors like energy and finance. Let's take a look at some of the charts pre-US election. First up, we have the US Dow Jones Index It had quite a soft October, and that can be explained by uncertainty ahead of the election, as well as some stronger US data, which led market analysts to reprice the aggressiveness of potential Fed rate cuts. Further direction for the Dow Jones depends on the result of the US election and a likely 25 basis point cut later on this week, and what the Fed Reserve and its members say going forward. And you can see on the chart, strong uptrend, the price have pulled back all the way to the 50-day EMA. It's barely holding for now, and we'll know in 3-4 days' time if this uptrend has been broken, and prices can potentially fall back to that 40,000 support line. Otherwise, if prices can hold here with the help of some favourable events this week, we may see a return back to recent record highs of around 43,300 made a few weeks ago. Next up, we have the dollar-yen chart. Now, on election day, I would expect dollar-yen, euro-dollar, cable to be the currency pairs of choice that will be moving around and remain very sensitive to the outcomes in the election. You can see here dollar-yen has strengthened over the last few weeks, most likely on that possible Trump victory. Now, if that is in question, then we could possibly see further pullbacks in dollar-yen. At this stage, the trend is up on the daily chart, and there is strong support there around that 20 EMA at 150.70 and 50 EMA at 149, the figure. But those levels will certainly be in focus depending on the election results. And finally, Bitcoin, which surged 5% last week, nearing its record high as it briefly surpassed 73,000 US a coin. That rally was fueled by the expectation of a possible Trump victory this week. So with that in mind, you may well see how cryptocurrencies in general and Bitcoin may react to the election outcomes. For Bitcoin itself, daily uptrend intact, looking very strong. Strong momentum with the stochastics above 80% level. We've got support around 67,400, the 20-day and 50-day EMA around 64,600. They're the levels to keep in mind on the downside. And if Bitcoin is to bounce, 73,000 US a coin will be first resistance. But this all hinges on the results of the US election. So that concludes my analysis on the US election, and good luck to those who are trading around this time of potential heightened volatility.